Ukraine is preparing a counteroffensive to Russia's overnight missile attacks that targeted Kyiv and other central and southern cities. At least 18 people were reportedly killed in these attacks. Air raid sirens were heard in Kyiv as explosions rocked the capital in the early hours of the day. In Uman, a town in central Ukraine, firefighters tackled a blaze after two cruise missiles hit a residential building and storage facilities. Authorities said 14 people had been killed, including 2 children. Kyiv says it shot down 2 attack drones and 21 out of 23 missiles, and 2 attack drones were shot down by its air defense. Kyiv was last targeted by missiles nearly 2 months ago. On Twitter, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack demonstrates the need for further international action against Russia. And for more, Shelby Wilder joins us live from Kyiv. Shelby, it's close to 24 hours since those Russian missile attacks. What's it like on the ground?
Well, last night going to sleep here in Ukraine, messages started coming through on Telegram channels telling Ukrainians to anticipate that there could be attacks as there was a detection of increased Russian military activity, particularly with Russian planes being airborne. And then a few hours later, air raid sirens started to call out and were activated across Ukraine at 4 a.m. And that's because there were incoming cruise missiles and also drones targeting various Ukrainian cities. The latest figures we have, as you mentioned, reported 18 people have been killed, including children, but numerous other civilians have been wounded. And according to the Ukrainian Air Force, 21 out of 23 of these cruise missiles were intercepted, and they did destroy 2 drones, but those remaining missiles that got through did hit residential buildings and a warehouse. And expanding on locations where this unfolded in Ukraine in the early hours of this morning. In the city of Uman, as you mentioned, residential apartment complex was hit, killing civilians there, including a 10-year-old child. Separately, in the city of Dnipro in the east of Ukraine, other civilians were killed, including a 2-year-old child there. And in Kyiv, the nation's capital, all coming air targets were destroyed, but fragments from an intercepted missile did hit a residential building in the Kyiv region, which also injured another child. This is the latest information we have from this. But again, there are reports that there could still be civilians trapped under the rubble in residential buildings in central Ukraine.
Shelby, Ukraine says preparations for a counteroffensive are nearly complete. Of course, it's unlikely that Kyiv will advertise when exactly it will be carrying out this offensive, given its sensitivity. But given what you do see, what is the timeline for this counteroffensive when it does happen?
Yes, so today we heard from Ukraine's defense minister, Alexei Reznikov, say that Ukraine was ready to begin its highly anticipated spring counteroffensive. Now, he did not give a date, but he said that Ukraine's military was finishing its preparations. We know that Ukraine had been waiting on the delivery of military equipment from NATO allies and Western partners, along with favorable weather. And we heard from the NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg yesterday saying that 98% of all promised combat vehicles had been delivered to Ukraine. And now that the weather has finally warmed up, it's really just a matter of time in regards to when Ukrainian commanders will now give the all clear and launch this counteroffensive. But we do believe that it will be happening in the very near future.
Well, thanks for speaking to us. Shelby Wilder speaking to us live from Kyiv.